Hi, everyone. My name is Natalie Nixon. I am a creativity strategist and the president of Figure Eight Thinking. I am also the author of The Creativity Leap, and I'm really happy to be talking today with Geneine Letford. Geneine is an author, a speaker, and a expert on creativity and financial literacy. So Geneine and I met, we met finally in person a year ago in LA. I can't believe that was a year ago. So it's really good to see you again, Geneine.
Same here. Thank you for having me on.
Thanks for being here. How have you been?
Good. Just navigating these waters and my creative thinking definitely in these times. So your book is right on time.
Awesome. And tell us the name again of your book.
Mine is called Debt to Destiny, Creating Financial Freedom from the Inside Out. And it basically just talks about, number one, why we don't have financial education and how important that is, my personal story of dealing with debt, but also how do you use your creative thinking to deal with your financial empowerment and freedom goals.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for that summary. So let's start with you sharing a story, if you don't mind, about a time when you have made a creativity leap. Share with us one of those stories. I'm sure there are many times, but just one.
There are many, but I guess the biggest one would the creativity leap that I made with leaving my job, my secure job, my teaching job of teaching at the same school, elementary school, with kids who are amazing, but making that leap in knowing that I had the creative ability to write books, to curriculum on how to empower people to get reattached to their creative source, but also how do you connect your creative thinking to entrepreneurial pursuits. So that is the leap that I made, the leap I'm currently in, and where I am today.
Awesome, awesome. And was that terrifying when you were at the verge of making that leap? How did it feel?
Yes, it is. If you ever climb the top of a high dive, you know what it looks like from the bottom. You even know from the top when you get up there, but just that oomph of going over. And I've jumped out of planes. I've jumped off of bridges. I like to thrill seek, but doing it in an event and experience did help in real life. But there's nothing like turning in your resignation paper and leaving your health benefits.
Yeah.
When you have that intuition, I know you speak a lot about the power of intuition. When you have that intuition that you're called to do this next thing, to move, movement is tough, but who wants to read about a life where there's no movement at all? So I knew this was my time to move.
I like to say that if you're feeling 50% exhilarated and 50% terrified, you're ready to jump. You're ready to make that leap. The terror keeps you on point and helps you to make sure that you're dotting all your I's, crossing all your T's, and the exhilaration gives you that optimism and that hopefulness to keep moving forward. So you need a little bit of both. I have found in my experience.
Yes, very, very true.
So who for you is an example of a wonder mentor?
Well, it was difficult to pinpoint one. Of course, a lot of us may see, I'd say our parents or our mom, and my mom definitely helped me create wonders within me because she was just so wondering about her environment and not letting things stop her. But to use someone that people may know of, I would have to choose Maya Angelou as well, in addition to my mom. Just number one, to wonder how, to tell her story effectively so that people can connect, and her courage to put herself out there. If you look at her life, her wonderment of placing herself in different environment. So, she was an activist, she was a writer, she got into the arts, she was a dancer, she was a performer. So really just how her creativity grew from her different experiences and the intertwining of her different experiences. I definitely pull from that about just, I wonder if I try this. I wonder if I talk to this person. I wonder if I connect this to that, what will have happened. And so you certainly see her ability to not just wonder, but to be driven to action by her wonderment. She's definitely a role model of mine.
I think that she's such a great example because as you're pointing out all the things that she tried, underlying all that you're saying about her is this insatiable curiosity, right? That was
Yes.
driving her to be imaginative and curious and lean into all sorts of a wide, diverse range of experiences. Great example. What about a mentor for rigor for you in your life?
Rigor. If anyone knows me and has anyone seen my writings or the future things I'm doing, I am a fanatic about Abraham Lincoln. Like
Ah,
I applied to fellowships during my teaching career. That was the first fellowship that I won. They flew me to the library, to his birthplace and his home, his law office. I've seen everything besides the Gettysburg spoke. The reason why I bring him up, and I've just following him since I was 12, is his ability to make the hard decisions and his
mhm.
ability to synthesize. So, as a creativity expert, it's not just having all these experiences, which is great, but it's your ability to synthesize and bring them all together, and how do they make sense, and how do they bring you to the bigger picture. So to lead our nation through some of the darkest times that we had, and just huge transformation, his rigor in bringing together people, that's a huge creativity skill, is knowing how to diversify your teams. And so his cabinet, his ability to go back into history and look at what was done, and self-taught, he had about 1 year total of schooling. So
Yes.
his ability to self-teach, and his ability to really, the synthesize king, I would say.
Huh.
When we needed a synthesizer in order to move our nation forward in the direction that it had to be and to prepare. I often wonder what would life have been like for many people, especially African Americans in this nation, had he lived, and had some of the visions and the goals he had for restoration were actually brought to fruition. So when I think of rigor, creative rigor, the unknown creativity of rigor, I think of Abraham Lincoln.
I love your example, especially your points around his ability to synthesize, which is very hard to do. And especially at times of crisis. We're going through a time of crisis right now with the global pandemic of COVID-19. And you're absolutely right. During that crisis in the late 19th century in the United States, it was about pulling together all these disparate points of view and agendas. And yeah, an incredible amount of rigor was required. I love that. Thank you for that example. All right, this was meant to be really short and just to for people to meet you and hear your perspective on creativity and creativity leaps. Are there any final remarks or anything you'd like to say before we close?
Sure. I don't believe in coincidences, and I don't believe that things just randomly happen. I think that things really happen for a reason. So meeting you, seeing your book being published, and seeing all the things you're able to do that what our nation and our world needs is perfect timing. I know you didn't have any clue that the pandemic was on the rise when we met last year, but you did have a clue that there was going to be some type of shift, and that creativity would be needed, the true definition of creativity. So thank you for being obedient and creating.
Oh, thanks so much, Geneine. I love that. Thank you. I really appreciate that coming from you. Thank you. Thanks for your time. And we can find out more about you and your work at, is it GeneinLetford.com? Where can people find out more about you?
That's perfect. I'll be there.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Geneine.
Thanks. Bye bye.
Bye.